Most people talk tough, but Wack 100 actually lived it. This is the story of the day. An insult toward his mother turned him into a legend. One pellet shot, one police siren, and one arrest that changed everything.
Age 16, you end up going to prison.
Yeah, but before then, you got juvenile hall, Camp Miller.
Okay, so when did you start getting arrested then?
12 years old.
Caught my first case of tore by the ADW, 9 firearms. Shot a man in the face 32 times with a CO2 pellet gun. Parody. I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking. King of my jungle, just a gangster stalking.
Hi, buddy.
Subscribe, turn on notification, and let me know who you want to see in the next story. Let's flash back to the time Wack had to let off his pellet gun. Today, he's known as Wack, a successful manager and controversial content creator. He relies on his early history to justify his tough stance in online controversies, which he often uses as a constant reminder of his credibility.
You the only moderator, nigga.
I'm trying to tell you I ain't
And I'm telling you with my brother on the phone when I beat you on Parody.
He grew up in a world defined by violence and became affiliated early in his life. He maintains that his official paperwork tells the true story of how he started. But even as he sits here, confident in his status, the roots of that legacy were planted decades ago in one shocking moment of rage. This is the origin story, written in stone when he was just 12 years old, revealing the early exposure to crime and anger that shaped his entire mentality. He was a kid, barely 12, already affiliated, finding his place in a world defined by the promise of violence. The time was 1989. He was in his backyard, treating it like a firing range with 2 friends. They were using a handgun-style pellet gun, the original Daisy pump, which shot pellets. He ran out of CO2 and went inside his house to change the cartridge. In the process of their shooting practice, a stray pellet flew over the fence and hit a neighbor's son. As Wack was in the living room loading a new cartridge into the handle of his weapon, he heard his mother at the front door. Standing there was the father, shouting in broken English, yelling, "My son! My son! They shot my son!" His mother attempted to dismiss the claims, saying her son had been in the house, perhaps due to a language barrier. But when the father saw young Wack emerge into the living room, holding the pellet gun, he went off. He identified Wack, stating, "Him, he did it." The father shouted and disrespected Wack's mother, calling her out of her name. When Wack heard the man call his mother a word you don't call women, he directed at his mother. His fear turned instantly to rage. He started firing the pellet gun at the man from just a few feet away. The father grabbed little Wack's arm, but Wack did not stop. He focused on pressing the barrel right into the man's face, pumping and firing repeatedly. The pellets, let off from such a close proximity, were highly effective. From that point forward, his juvenile record became a history of violence. He was locked up in juvenile hall, catching cases including possession of firearms and attempted murders. He was sent to facilities across California like Fred C. Nellis, which they called Gladiator School, a place he described as being worse than some penitentiaries. He barely finished his parole from Nellis. He was on the street for close to 90 days. Then, at age 16, he caught a major shooting charge. He was accused of firing into a vehicle, 2 counts of discharging firearms in city limits, and firing into a dwelling after chasing people who ran inside a house. He was on the run again, but when he was caught, they charged him as an adult. Though he eventually beat the attempted murder charges stemming from his time with the youth authority, the path was set. This origin story, the flash of rage over disrespect, is the foundation of the man now known for his uncompromising street policy. However, this is only the beginning of Wack's story. The pellets that rang out didn't just mark the end of his childhood. They became the first link in a chain of events that would catapult him from troubled kid to inmate. Because of events following that fateful day, Wack found himself tossed into California's notorious youth authority system, a place with a reputation so wild that some called it Gladiator School. What happened to him inside those walls, the violence, the alliances, and the choices he would make just to survive is a story even crazier than the one you've just heard. As the gate slammed shut and the city faded behind him, a new chapter began. And once you see what really went down inside those walls, you'll understand. The pellet gun was just the tip of the iceberg, and Wack's fight was only getting started.